How's it going, everybody? I just throwing up a video here, um, just discussing, anxiety, the anxiety I suffer, and just, maybe seeing what other people uh, go through, or maybe if they go through similar things. Figured I'd throw it up because these ASMR videos that I watch are really, they're very calming, a lot of them, obviously, and it does help with that if I'm feeling a little off or whatever, which is nice. They've helped with my headaches even a little bit. The smaller headaches I get, they'll help with because I can just lay in bed and really zone out. The tougher headaches are still, pretty much impossible to deal with. But that's a big thing I get from the videos is like the zoning out. And I'm sure other people also get that. It's almost like it's like being relaxed, but also you're just, I'm just like it's weird. Like I'm almost like it feels like I'm like it's not even like real. It's kind of strange. You're like kind of just so the voice is so relaxing or the sounds are so relaxing that you almost just like go off into this like almost another world where you're just like what, and all of a sudden you're like where, oh yeah, that's right, I'm like laying in bed or I'm just sitting here, which is a good feeling because it really just kind of, the voice, especially for me, its voice is a lot that really does it for me. And it will just kind of, it like, because I have my headphones in, it just goes right into the, my brain, and I'm just like, like, and I'm zoning out, which is a nice feeling. It's really nice, it's relaxing, and it's good to have that. But in terms of my anxiety is I've heard that I heard when I first found these videos that people talking about that they help. It does in some ways, because I get very nervous, if I'm like uh, out in public or whatever. I get very just like basic interaction could cause issues for me. Like sometimes even if I have to like make a call to if I have to call a doctor to make a doctor's appointment, I get like unusually anxious and nervous about just the phone call as if like it's gonna be something, like I'm turning it into completely something that it isn't. And I know, plenty of people have that feeling about stuff, and I lack a lot of confidence with things. I'm pretty good. Like if people get to know me, I'm fine. And I'm very talkative and stuff. And I do have a pretty personable. I'm pretty personable, but I can like almost play it off in a lot of ways when I'm around people. I can get along with just about anybody. But a lot of times, like on the inside, I'm just like, oh, it's eating me up inside. I'm very good at not showing my anxiety or anything like that. Like I don't bug out too much, or I don't want to show anybody that because I don't want to like amplify it or whatnot. Because like I remember there was a time, I think this is like 1999 or something. I was at a Tom Petty concert in the city with a bunch of people, and I made them. This place was packed. It was in Irving Plaza. It was overpacked. They must have oversold it. But I still like part of us. It was very hot in there, and half of us stayed in the back, which is where I should have stayed, and then the other half moved to the front, or to not the front, the middle where I went. And like halfway through the concert, my friend like passed out, like he like fainted briefly, and I had this weird vision. It like I thought it was me that was fainting. I started like my anxiety and panic just was through the roof. So I like helped him out of there. I brought him to the back, and then my heart was pounding. I'm like, oh my god, I'm having a heart attack and everything. And then we were like walking around the city, and I ended up going to the hospital. And just and then like I kind of was like, all right, I'm just having a panic attack. This is what it is. I kind of was starting to come to grips with everything and get calmer. And the doctor was like sure that I was on coke. I was like, no. I'm like, it's a panic attack. He's like, we have a the wreath is like smacking against the door. Sorry. He's like, we have a drug substance like rehab on like the fourth floor. I'm like, it's not. Then he like gives me a thumbs up when I'm leaving. I was like, what is going on? But that was a very bad one, and I have this thing where I don't know if anybody else suffers from this. If anybody comments on this, let me know. But I have like this thing where like I'll get these weird, like out of nowhere, it will just hit me where I feel fake. Like I almost feel like a ghost. Where like if I have like a T-shirt on and I'm feeling this way, like I'll throw more clothes on so I feel more whole, and it like feels like I feel like I remember I had this once. I was walking down the street, just coming home from somewhere, and out of nowhere, I just thought I was gonna like fall into nothingness. Like I was like so wanting there to be, like railings on the sidewalk so I could hold on to something. It's an awful feeling. It like, I mean, I almost don't want anybody to, comment saying they have a similar feeling, because it's terrible. It's like crazy how just uncomfortable and like it's an awful feeling, but it's so uncomfortable. It's like just crazy. Like it's like I'm thinking, oh my god, is this what like if you die, is this how it's gonna be? Like you're a spirit. I'm like I wouldn't be able to handle it. Because I feel like I'm just gonna drift away or fall into nothingness. Like I said, I'll put on extra clothes. I'll like pinch myself occasionally and stuff. It's just like a really awful, awful feeling and very uncomfortable feeling. I should say it's more uncomfortable than awful, but yes, it is awful as well. Like I said, like basic things like making phone calls. I've been better with it because I was seeing someone, therapist for a bit, and I've gotten a little better like basic things where like I'll discuss so and things like we're making phone calls and stuff. I'm a lot better with, or just interacting, going to the post office, basic stuff. It's like I can handle myself for a while in certain situations, but I'll like, especially when it comes to like working, I'll like, I go like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, and then out of nowhere, I'm getting like this panic starts to build over time. I don't even know why, because I'm afraid if I screw up, it's like I'm making any screw up a bigger deal than it is, and stuff like that. Like I could be a screw up and nobody cares, but I'm like, oh my god, this is, and it sticks with me for way too long and stuff like that. But it's frustrating. I've gotten a little bit better with it, and these videos have helped. Since I've found them back in September, and putting them up too is I like putting them up. I like it gives me a chance. Like I could sit here and say, well, I'm doing these videos. I mean, it's obviously easy to just throw up a video right in front of the camera. Even the role playing ones. But that's helped in a way too, just with me like out in public, kind of like because I'm talking to subscribers or whoever watches the video, kind of like that, and then it kind of does, uh, overflow into actual interactions. When I go and do stuff. I'm kind of just like rambling on here. Sorry. Make some sounds. Rub the thing on the couch. But it can be. Just it's overwhelming, and it's I feel terrible a lot of the times. Like I feel like I'm letting people down and stuff. Because simple things bother me, and I'm like looking at people who do their thing every day and stuff. I'm like, how do they do it without like not going nuts, but like just having a breakdown or something, or just not feeling right, and I'm just like, ugh. It's just more me. I know so many people suffer with maybe small anxieties, and tell you much worse anxieties than me, same kind of stuff and stuff like that. But it can get it gets a little overwhelming sometimes. It's part of the reason I want to go down to Florida eventually. Because when I went there to visit last year, and even times I went there in the past, I like never want to leave, and it's I feel much more comfortable when I'm down there. It's very strange. The way of life moves. It moves slower. Everything. Like I live on Long Island right now, and everything is just so like it's like almost like a race for everybody. Like nobody's got patience and stuff. I mean, it's a great place to live, except for the terrible prices on stuff, but and taxes. But it's it's got a lot of places, the beaches and stuff like that. There's a lot of good stuff. The city's close, at least to where I am. It's only like 35 minutes. you know, and then you can go out east to wineries and stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff, but it's so many people, and it's like for someone who suffers from anxiety or anything like that, doesn't like big crowds. It's tough. But you know, being in Florida, it's just you know the pace is slower. People are not almost like at each other's throats. People aren't like quick to go nuts on you or anything. So it's something that we really want. I mean, she wants to do it too. She, you know, she kind of fell in love with being down there a little bit too. And we're going back in February, so we're gonna get a real good lay of the area and stuff. Try to see if we really will, you know, like it or not and stuff. And I feel like for me, it would be like such a fresh start and just like almost like I could be someone else, even though I wouldn't be. But it's like it's new, you know, like you don't know anybody, and you could almost start fresh with at least for me, like with personality and stuff. But you know, I could be wrong about that as well. But I'd like to think that a change like that would help. But you know, I just wanted to discuss some stuff here, you know, fairly quickly. I'm sure I'm leaving some of my stuff out, but I'm not like a confrontational person either. Like I have occasionally yelled at people and I feel terrible about it afterwards, and that's another thing that sticks with me. But I try to avoid confrontation as much as I can because it's just so awkward and so out of character for me to like bug out or anything on somebody that it becomes, or even when it happens to me, I start to feel bad. And like I said, most people, it's just it's gone. You know, a few minutes later, it's gone. For me, I'm thinking about how I could have done things differently, like 2 months down the line. So it can be frustrating. But you know, if anybody comments on this, you know, and has any similar experiences or any of their own, and they want to mention them, I'd love to. I say I'd love to hear it, but I'd love to just see how people deal with um, you know, their anxiety and whatnot. You know, it'd be nice to hear. I guess you can kind of don't want to hear people suffering anxiety, but it's nice to know, you know, you're not alone. Even though I certainly know I'm not. Not by a long shot. There's so many people, millions upon millions, unfortunately. But yeah, you know, maybe do some noises here real quick. Kind of like the hand sound. Like I said, it's so crazy that I didn't realize that this community existed, or like any the ASMR. You know, like I didn't even know what it was, and then I'm just like, wow, I've had those feelings and stuff like that when listening to certain things. So I've really enjoyed putting up these vids. You know, I really like it's. I feel like I'm putting up too many. You know, I should hold off, but I just when I have an idea, or you know, there's something I just want to try, or just even talk about. I just want to get it up as quickly as possible because I do love making them. But yeah, this is going a little longer than I guess I thought. But yeah, you know, thanks everybody who watches, and anybody has any comments or anything like that, or anything that helps them out with their anxiety and stuff, let me know. And thanks everybody for checking it out, and have a good day.